Hi there, it's Nick Dutch here on the Nick Dutch Tarot channel. On this channel I do tarot readings. I would like to apologise for a slightly different camera angle today because I've got rather a lot on at the moment, so I have to get my tarot show done very quickly. Got a wonderful new Book of Thoth tarot here. Okay, looks much better, as you can see. Nice clean imagery there, provided for me by a supporter of my channels who says that, you know, she likes what she sees and wanted to help out. So here we go. This is of course still the same tarot pack as usual. It's the Book of Thoth tarot, the one I like the most, the one I get most clarity from, because of the quality of colours, the quality of symbolism, and how it all fits together. Now we've got the first inquiry here, which is from Tiona. And Tiona says, I'm going to apply to an Asian company. I know I've got talent, but they're very strict with choosing people. I'm very confident, but I'm afraid they may choose an Asian over me. So how do you see this turning out? Let's have a quick look. Okay, we'll do a nice little spread and see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that are going to appear today. Right, okay, well, initially, and this is the way the cards are coming through, willpower and determination, keeping focus, but also something financially beneficial coming your way and hard work being done. That's also implying communication which will lead to a result. So essentially there's something really rather good there. Now for some reason I'm just reminded of that little song from that little Disney film. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Okay, that's sort of suddenly come through to me. I don't think it's a question of where someone comes from geographically that matters in this particular case. I think it's more a question of knowledge, and there's a greater feeling of knowledge coming out further on in the reading there, because we've got the High Priestess, which represents yourself being very heavily connected, very well connected, and in a good position of stability, alright? Then, of course, there's signs relating to, in this particular case, dynamism, action, designing your own particular future, and maintaining good diplomatic connections with people as well. So essentially that's actually not looking too bad. I'll give you 75 to 85%, you know, certainty that's all going to work out, basically. That's the way that one's coming through. Now the next particular tarot inquiry we've got, let's just have a quick look and see where it is. Okay. Right, now we've got this individual called Chris, this young man, and it says, I've been with a woman now for 7 months and things are going great, very much in love with her. I really want to know what the cards say about the relationship and how it will go down the road from now on. I'm interested in how she feels the most. I'm concerned maybe because I may have to move away because I'm looking for a new job, and the best one I can find is about 3 hours away from her. I don't want to take the job if it'll cost me the relationship. Anyway, let's have a quick look. Different methodology, looking 8-card relationship style, because it's a relationship reading, not a chronological reading. Okay, chronological readings are good for careers. Sometimes you can do similar spreads, okay, or similar styles of spreads, but you got different meanings with the positions of the cards, and that's the way it comes through to you, you see. Now in this particular case, forces between yourself and her, signs of stability and consistency, which is very good, very important, and very powerful. The energy on your side of things, alright, you haven't got your head in the clouds, okay? The full reverse in this particular case is talking about stability. You're terrified of disappointments, you want to maintain things right, and so you're looking at the fine details, alright? But this is someone, as the Ace of Coins there is saying, or the Ace of Discs there is saying, who could be around you for a long period of time. The energy on their side of things is more different, because you're thinking practically, you're trying to avoid negativity, you're not keeping your head in the clouds. This is someone who's actually very strongly in love with you and has got a strong desire to maintain things. I think you need to discuss all the difficult situations in order for the relationship to carry on, because I believe she feels very strongly for you. You should hang on to this one. Progression here, short-term, mid-term and long-term future, that's the way it's coming through there. Financial stability, yes, basically the job's looking good, I'd go for it if I was you. But essentially, you know, you need to go through a period of diplomacy, basically, to try and make sure you maintain the balance between the two interests of love as well as the work itself. Now, that might seem rather difficult, but it will definitely be doable, okay? So essentially that's the way I'm seeing it there. Now let's go on to the next one, which is someone called Tunisia. Thank you so much for doing a tarot reading for me. My name is Tunisia, married to Philippe, presently in St. Lucia in the Caribbean. Completely stagnant. Have no idea how all this will pan out, and it's very difficult or uncertain financial pattern at this time. Okay, well, we'll read upon the relationship, and then we'll see what basically things can go from that point onwards. Here we go. Alright. as I say, you know, I'm sorry about the camera angle because like things have to go in a different way once in a while. But either way, let's have a quick look and see what's coming through there. Right, forces between the two of you. It's another ace, but this time the Ace of Cups. Your relationship is actually quite stable, but in a different way, because it's like it's a heart chakra bond, basically a very strong heart chakra bond, and therefore you'll be able to stay together for a long period of time. It actually looks quite interesting. It feels quite interesting in that particular respect, and it's a very singular, very focused relationship. So you may feel it's stagnant, but it's still there. Alright, it's still there because you've reached a certain level of familiarity and routine. Now, essentially under these circumstances, it would be worthwhile thinking about moving out of the routine somehow. Staying together, moving out of the routine, doing different things, going different places, eating out in different places and all that, okay? Now, the signs on their side of the reading, again, we have very strong love signs there, but they're also feeling the same kind of like complexity and negativity that you've got there too. But on the other hand, you've got very strong love signs on your side of things as well. So essentially, you've got a very strong bond on many different levels, but it's just that feeling of, how shall I put it? Well, you say it's stagnant, and I would say it's a question of lack of variety. Now, medium-term future, very good financial signs. Don't have to worry about your longer-term financial future either, because the signs of financial gain is definitely there for you. So that's very, very, very good on lots of levels. It's the way in which you're living at the moment which is basically causing the problems. And when the way in which you're living is basically dealt with, then you'll be much happier. Alright, giving the cards a quick shuffle, let's go straight on to the next reading. Obviously I've got a fair few to go through, bit by bit. Here we go. Right, let's see what we got there. Would like to ask a question about my mother's job developments. Does the future show positive or negative movements? This is for Lasma. Okay, here we go, Lasma. Well, obviously I'm hoping and I'm praying that things are going to work out well, and I'm hoping and praying that the tarot is going to tell me, because the tarot will speak about what's happening in the world. It doesn't speak about what I would like to happen in the world or what you would like to happen in the world, although that's what some people say, you see. So you've got to take into account some people's values on how all these things seem to operate. Let's have a quick look. So we're looking chronological. It's not a relationship reading. It's not a personal interaction type reading. It's more to do with practical things happening over time. Right, I get the feeling that she's in a bit of a precarious situation, right? A precarious situation that will basically require a bit of extra work in some variety or at a time in the future. The energy of this whole situation between her and her environment is talking about caution in the short-term future. She's in a position of imbalance, you know, feeling rather precarious. And it's a question of using words in the right way to the right people to get the right effect. So, that's the way it feels, all right? Signs of inner strength, she'll get through this, so that's already looking positive. Now, if I was going to give you, I mean, sometimes we think in black and white, don't we? Or sometimes we think in primary colours. You've asked me a question in black and white, one monochrome, between positive or negative movements. If I was just to give you an answer of positive or negative, I would say positive, alright? I would give you the white rather than the black. And in this particular case, I think it's more a question of positive over time and going through lots of wriggly little emotions, because she's got to work out where else she can make things operate rather than necessarily a straight and narrow path. She doesn't have a straight and narrow path, but she's got a good end result, alright, which will fit her nature nicely. So it's not a bad reading, but it is a complex situation. I think that you need to move away from thinking about it purely in terms of I would say, you know, purely the black and white. Now I'm just trying to find the next inquiry. Here we go, Jennifer A, or Jennifer NA to use both initials, okay? Just discovered your channel today, loving your videos so far. I'd like a question for the show. Will I connect with my estranged parents? Alright, so we'll have a quick look. We'll ask the Mystic Tarot. Ooh. And see what the Mystic Tarot says about whether you're going to be able to connect properly with your estranged parents and you'll be able to get that connection back on track. Okay, let's have a quick look and see what's coming through there. Bear with me a second. Obviously today's video is a slightly different format, isn't it, if you think about it, alright? Because today's live and unedited. I normally put in a bit of an edit, don't I? so that I move from one question to another, and you sort of like see me vanishing away onto the side and all the rest of that. Well, we're not quite doing that today. So I hope that you like to start a presentation, because obviously you're the people who are watching this on a regular basis, all right? So if you've got a problem or an issue, then leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to try and address basically the way that things have been and what I've really been doing there. Now, in this spread that we've got here for you, now it's a 6-card spread. It is a chronological spread, so we've got a combination here, haven't we, between a social interaction and an eventual outcome style of spread, basically. So I'm doing it in the style of a chronological eventual outcome. We've also got at the beginning and at the end, because this is like a process. Signs of dramatic change and signs of your world being turned upside down, basically. A bolt from the blue, something big and dramatic. So I'm going to give you a yes. But I'm also going to give you a little bits of here and there. You've got a breadcrumb trail. You've got a breadcrumb trail leading you to reconnect with your parents. Alright, that's essentially the main energy of this particular reading. There is an end result there. That's why we got the sense of futility being turned upside down and being removed. Your world being turned upside down, as there's a reconnection with someone you've got some kind of connection with. That feeling of isolation being taken away, and a sense of that change, or something which will indicate the change happening within your short-term future. Could be within 3 months. Now, essentially, the whole thing could be over a couple of years at the outside. Remember, I tend to give pessimistic time frames, not precise time frames. That's just the way it is with Nick Dutch, okay? But there does seem to be a positive result there. But remember, it's a little breadcrumb trail. You're going to be given a bit of information here, a bit of information there, and you're just going to have to follow the various clues, which is going to take you to where, basically, what you want. All right. Going to leave that one particular inquiry. I can't actually answer all the inquiries that I'm basically being given, because some of them don't necessarily connect with the purpose of the show, okay? Right, this one here from Jennifer R. says, I submitted an angel film to festival and want to find out by spring where I stand, but I'm hopeful. Any chance you will feel it's looking good? Unfortunately, I have some ungrateful people who think I'm too mediocre, yet they acted in my film. They got their credit, and I feel like once they got their copy of the film, it was bye, not thank you, not nothing. That's not nice, is it? I just wish I could prove them wrong. Even though I have been pushing, I'm not going to be satisfied until the film gets picked up or a winner. Dreaming reality. Okay. Let's have a quick look and see if we've got signs of success and achievement. Okay. Yeah, you've had negative people around you, but those negative people aren't going to carry on affecting you negatively as you move further forward, alright? So essentially, that feeling of powerlessness is going to slowly edge or ebb away. Okay, one of these days Nick Dutch will get his words out, right? Okay, alright, in the sense of greater knowledge, because what you've done, I don't think you've done the final project there. I think what you've done is you've learned about people, how to work with people, how to build bonds with people in the kind of working environment for creation, for creative productions, and then you are going to be considered to be a wise person who can then bring great benefits to other people as far as creative work is concerned, moving further forward into the future. That's the kind of energy that the reading is giving me. So your whole world, your whole work and world with creative stuff is not over yet. That one particular film is important and will like be, oh, what's the word? It's like a portfolio piece for the next big one that's coming around the corner, which is going to be more your own work, and you're going to profit from it big time. That's the way I'm seeing it. Okay. Right, this one's from Laurie. It says, it's my hope that you're able to do a reading for me. I'd like some insight into me and my boyfriend if possible. I read tarot as well, but it's hard to be neutral when you're reading for yourself. Yes, that's true. It is. Alright, because we always look at things from a very much a one-sided point of view, don't we, sometimes? We always need somebody else to bounce ideas off if we're going to get clarity. So, let's have a quick look and see what the reading is saying about the situation between yourself and your boyfriend, your Laurie K. And this is going to be another 8-card relationship reading using the wonderful, beautiful Brand new Book of Thoth Tarot. Okay. The energy between yourself and this individual looks rather porcupiney, alright? You're dealing with someone who's a bit spiky, they're a bit defensive, they're pushing you away once in a while. But there is a sense of there being some issues which hold you together, some things which can be an extra bond or other, which then helps the relationship to be a little bit more down to earth and in place, basically. So essentially there's a lot of good stuff associated with what you've got, but there's still a few issues to get over. You're dealing with someone who's defensive and doesn't seem to have one singular issue that they actually want to deal with, and basically it's got to be up to yourself to try and create a bit more in the way of progression to allow the whole relationship between yourself and your boyfriend to actually grow and grow properly. That's what I'm seeing there. Alright, now short-term, mid-term and long-term future. Nice bright cards, alright? Bright cards, bright colours. The here and now signs was all more, you know, your darker energy, okay? But the future signs are actually looking much more bright and sunny. So I don't really feel you got a long-term future problem on the basis you get over this sort of like prickly defensiveness that's basically dominating the here and now. Right. Right, the next one says, this is from Ryan H. Work for me has recently stopped or slowed down, maybe for a brief while. You mentioned that something good is going to happen to me in the spring of 2013. I'm wondering if I'm going to get a good paying job or find a career, if it will happen, or maybe having my own business. Will 2013 be a good year for me in work and career? Thank you, Nick. Well, no, thank you, Ryan, because without you and with other people who are making inquiries here on the Tarot Show, I wouldn't be here doing the tarot reading. So obviously think about how important you are and not how important I am, alright? But obviously this channel is all about me showcasing what I can do for the people out there who are interested in me doing readings for them, alright? Remember, if you want to submit an inquiry, the email address is nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. It's not in the private message section of this YouTube account. This is nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Okay. Again, signs relating to inner strength, but also signs of sacrifice. You've got to sacrifice a lot of time and energy. I would say something more, I'm tempted to err towards self-employment, but I don't think that self-employment is the be-all and end-all of where you're going to be going and what you're going to be doing as far as your career is concerned. It feels like there's a blend of at least two different things that's going to hold you together financially. But yes, I do feel that your 2013 is going to be okay. Let's very quickly hold up the cards for you just so you've got a bit of a feeling as to what's really going on through there. Okay, bright signs, that center sacrifice there with a hanged man, an opportunity to be cautious, okay, when dealing with some of the people around you, very closely communication driven, but you're also going to deal with someone who's going to try and find a way of blocking what you're trying to achieve. So you've got to try and overcome that feeling of being blocked because of through your use of communication communication skills, basically. That's roughly what I'm seeing there for you. So I wouldn't be concerned. 2013 is still looking good, but I would say lots of activity to try and get to where you want to go. Okay, I've just been asked, can you do a reading on another person, and if so, what information do you need? Well, I need your first name and your date of birth, ideally, okay? I need the first name of the person you want me to read on, and I need a question about them, okay? If you don't ask me a question, I can't actually do you a reading, okay? That's just the way it works for all those of you out there, alright? Okay. Now we're dealing with Mr. Kevin F., who says, Nick, I've fallen in love with a school teacher that lives in Asia, and we're considering talking about becoming husband and wife. She has one child and I have two. I'm currently living with the mother of my two children. I realise I need to make a decision upon which one I would like to spend the rest of my life with. I believe I've made up my mind about this 12-13 years ago, to be honest, and that's why I've never married her. I stayed for the children and stability. I was hoping you could add me to the next tarot show, and maybe you could use the name Cupid, if you choose to do so. I should have read that out first, Mr. Cupid. But okay, but either way, never mind. Right, here goes. Right, forces between yourself and this one in particular individual that you're dealing with. We've got the Hermit card coming through, which speaks about, in this particular case, giving illumination. All right, giving extra wisdom there. So essentially, they really do spark off you. They could be someone worth building a bond with. So do make sure you have a meet up, spend some time together. It's looking positive so far. The Hermit card does actually speak about love in many different ways. Let's just have a quick look at that, okay? Because what the Hermit is trying to do is trying to seek towards something which is valuable. In this case, a symbol of wisdom and wealth, which is the egg with the serpent around it, okay? It's a bit like a metaphor for the Philosopher's Stone. It's something that people are aspiring to get. But also, the hermits of old, although some people were forced into that, into their solitude, because it was believed that was somehow good, alright? There was also some people who did it because they had a labour of love they wanted to bring into the world, and therefore it is a message of love and labouring for it. On their side of things, they want change too, alright? And there are also people, you know, she's obviously someone of a good level of intelligence, very academic, very mercurial, the energy there. But there's also many more mercurial signs on your side of things too, Mr. KF, Mr. Cupid, okay? And that's showing me that you could actually have a lot in common. And the sense of change on your side of things, the sense of change on their side of things, looking very, very good. Progression. Here we go, short term, mid term, long term. And the way this particular spread's worked out, you people out there are the first people to see what these cards are, not me. Alright, short term, you've got signs of extra, well, that's the one that's come out for me as short term, because I'm looking at it from this point of view, not the other point of view, if you get my drift. Okay, you've got your 6 of coins there, talking about success and achievement. There is an end goal there, that's looking good. The other two there, it is still a progression, but it's also a progression dominated by love, very solid cup signs. And what do cup signs mean? Of course, they're the old Venusuvian, the whole, you know, the whole, the thing which holds a boy and a girl together, if you know what I mean, alright? It's very good on lots of different levels. We'll just leave it like that. But essentially, yes, I will go for it, but I will build the bond because it is a process. It's not something which can be achieved basically overnight or straight away, alright? So here we go. This one is from Axie, and this one says, "Hi babe, hello. Can you please read my cards? I'm a fan of yours, you're pretty awesome." Well, thank you, that's so sweet. I'm a Scorpio sign, he's a Gemini, so what will happen between us? Ooh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Right, well, obviously here we do go, because here we are when we're going to go, and this is the way we're going to do it. Never mind, I'm starting to ramble now, aren't I? Anyway, probably getting a bit overtired, and I've got so many inquiries left to do. So anyway, here we go, here we go, here we go. Right, bit of a complex sort of like juxtaposition of emotions between the two of you, okay? You are very different. You mentioned your star signs. I don't read with astrology, I read with tarot. But essentially, Mr. Gemini is quite simple in terms of his attitude, but he does want to try and progress. On your side of things, you look at him in a very complex way and you're trying to work out where he's coming from. I wouldn't try and do that quite so much. I would just be rather chill and think about the good things between the two of you. The Prince of Wands is a miraculous giver. It's the giver of miraculous bonds in this particular case, because what it's doing is it's creating change, and it represents St. Michael, or the Archangel Michael, which is the one who works the miracles of God and is a destroyer of negativity and darkness. So there is some darkness going on between the two of you, but that's going to be blasted away. It's going to be blasted away, providing you basically with what you require in terms of progression. Here we go again. Short term, mid term, longer term future. And apart from the last one, again, you're the first person to see them. And again, I've shuffled like crazy, but again, we've had the 6 of coins coming out, which demonstrates what I spoke to you about tarot before. Now, this is a brand new tarot pack, alright? This is the first time I've used it on the tarot show. And sometimes you get reoccurring themes, despite the fact I can be shuffling like a you-know-what, alright? So, short term, we got some bit of defensiveness going on there, but on the other hand, there's intelligence bringing about a solution. So essentially, your reasoning ability from up there, okay, your divine components, the vertical stave in the 3, all right, is the one which is going to start to bring about that bond between the two of you. If you think about it, the 3 staves I've got 2 crossed and 1 vertical. The 2 cross is representing both of you, but essentially reason and wisdom and something spiritual is the thing which is going to like bring about the the magic between the two of you, leading to that 6 of coin success. All right, that's the energy about that. So essentially, you've actually got a good relationship, despite the fact that you might doubt it, but you've got a good one. All right, now we've got Jacqueline K, who says, currently in a relationship. I'd like for you to see where this relationship is heading and if there's a possibility of this being going towards long term. Alright, we'll have a quick look. We'll see basically again what the reading is saying. We'll just do 5. We'll do 5 cards this time, I think. Just the 5, not the short term, mid term and long term, because we can divine from the here and now as to whether there is a long term solution. We don't have to look at the energies of the long term. The question says look at whether this is going to go long term. Alright, okay. You want the good news or the bad news, do you, hey? Do you want the good news or the bad news? The bad news is you're currently in a difficult situation. Right, forces between the two of you. Well, let's just hold up the whole spread so you can see the whole lot. It's a 5-card relationship reading because it's based upon the 8-card relationship reading methodology, but you've got 5 of them. Alright, 1 in the middle. Alright, you got your 2 of Cups there. Very, very, very good. That's your good point. That's your plus point. Okay, that's the thing which is holding you together. 2 souls being held together. The bad news is opposites attract. You're very different. Now you can use your opposites positively if you can work with each other in a team-like manner. If you work in a team-like manner, you're going to get some good stuff happening. If you don't work in a team-like manner, you can get a few problems going on because your energies are very different. All right. One great thing about doing this job is whenever the weather's a bit hot, I can always keep cool, you know. Right, okay, now, as I say, like the solution here is to work out what you're good at, what your partner's good at, be honest about it and be humble. Bring about humility in your partner as well, and then work out what you can both do so you can have a real partnership. And a real partnership doesn't necessarily mean to say that you both do the same thing. It means to say you do different things because you both specialise in different ways, and if you can do that, you'll be alright. Right, okay, well, I've still got a fair few inquiries to do, but my throat's getting a bit dry, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to call this this show quits. I'll get on with the next one the moment I can, basically, because I'm, you know, I can run out of time and energy sometimes. And on top of that, I've got an awful lot to do. Now, if you want your reading done in the Tarot Show, then what you've got to do is send me an email to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. That's nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Alright, and that's basically the best way to get yourself into the show. Obviously, I've had a bit of a delay for this one, and you get one without any groovy editing, so essentially, oh dear, Nick Dutch has been naughty today, but essentially, please forgive me this one time. And I'll be more than happy to sort out another one with a better looking one for next time, if that will be okay. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Good fortune, God bless. All right, bye for now.